This video is brought to you by Kaiser Knives. Hey, what's up everyone? Tim here from Everyday Tactical Vids. Today we're looking at this, which is the Hero G3 flashlight from Powertac. We're going to talk through the features and functions on this light, and then we're going to compare it to two other lights that I've recently been testing out, one from Olight and one from Thrunite. All right, let's talk about what you get with the light. Obviously, you're going to get the flashlight. It does come with the 26650 battery included. It also comes in this case, which is nice if you want to transport this thing around in a car. You don't want it in the included holster. You can actually keep it in this. You get a bunch of Powertac paperwork as well as a couple stickers that they throw in there. You get some accessories like an extra O-ring. You get some covers for the charging port. You also get some key rings to attach your lanyard system, basically just different ways to carry it. Let's talk about this charging system real quick. You can see that's the end that goes into the wall. So plug this in and then you have your USB port there. So that's what that end looks like. And then the other end has two different attachment points. So this is going to go into your flashlight to charge it, and then you can see that one accepts a USB. So off of your flashlight you can charge up other items. So that, you know, more and more flashlights are doing that, more and more companies are doing that. I like that it's not multiple cords or multiple systems, it's all one thing together. So again, just great that you can charge your light by plugging it into the wall, or you could even charge your light off of a computer or some sort of USB adapter there. And then you've got an option to charge up your gear, your phone, your iPad, other things like that, with this going into the flashlight, and then this is going to be sending power out to the item that you're charging. You do get this fully adjustable lanyard, and I can tell you that having used some of their lights before, I do find that this hook that they have for actually attaching it to the light is quite sturdy. Sometimes you get a lanyard system and the hook is just really weak, and if it snaps, obviously you're dropping your light, but this one feels quite durable. Last up here is the holster, made of some high-grade durable plastic. There's the loop that goes over your belt. It is nice and wide, so it's going to fit over larger belts. The other big win of this light is that the button is above the top of the holster, so you're not going to accidentally have this thing in the holster, bump it, turn the light on, and run your battery out. Even if you turn this all the way around, there's no way to bump or squeeze the holster that's going to activate the light and therefore drain your battery. So that's what that looks like. Open on the bottom, and then taking it out, and there you go. Turn it on. Let's talk about your outputs here. Your lowest setting is 0.6 lumens. That's going to run for 1,296 hours. 1,296 hours. That is a long, long time, obviously. Your second setting is 200 lumens. That's going to run for 12.6 hours. Your third setting is 500 lumens. That's going to run for 5 hours. Your fourth setting is 960 lumens. That's going to run for 3.6 hours. Lastly, there is a strobe option. That's going to also be 960 lumens, and that's going to run for 7.2 hours. This light comes with a Cree XM-L2 U3 LED. They do give you the weight of this light without the battery, and I never find that helpful because who's going to be using it without a battery? So I'm going to weigh this in a minute. Let me give you the dimensions as far as millimeters. It's 134 millimeters. Your bezel diameter is 36.5 millimeters, and your body diameter is 33 millimeters. Let me get out my tape measure and the scale, and we'll give you some more details that way. All right, with the tape measure here, you can see it's about 5 1/4 end to end, and then across the front, looking at about 1 1/4 right across the bezel, and then across the rest of the body, looking at pretty much the same for the base. So I would say 1 1/4 and then 5 1/4 end to end. As far as your weight, you're looking at 8.07 ounces, which is just a tiny bit under 229 grams. Here's a look at the light in the holster on my belt. The belt is 1.75 inches across, so it's pretty large, but taking the light out and then sliding it back in. You can do it one-handed, just to show you. Here's a quick look at the light on the lanyard. That's that little hook I was talking about before, and it is adjustable. Obviously you don't want to go up super tight, but you can adjust this if this was around, say, your wrist or something. But it does hang down. I mean, it's just below the level of the camera, but you could, basically, let me back up and show you here. So I just like that, having quick, easy access to it. And again, this is not something I'm going to hike, 20 miles with this thing bouncing off my chest the whole time. But I was out working on some videos at night and wanted to have this light accessible. So boom, to be able to pick it up and to rock and roll, we're good to go. So that's the lanyard system. Okay, let me give you some thoughts on this light. First of all, if you've seen any of my other Powertac videos, you'll know that I like this company. I'm also kind of questioning on a regular basis why are not more people talking about these guys, because they seem to make really good products. I always reference the video I did on the Warrior where I just beat the living tar out of this thing, threw it out of the car, ran over it, shot it with a shotgun, hit it with a 2x4, and it still worked. So, you know, after that initial experience with Powertac flashlights, I was like, okay, these guys definitely, they're doing something right with flashlights. This thing, the first thing I'll tell you is that when you pick it up, you can see the texture there. I wouldn't say it's aggressive like it's going to cut your hand up, but it definitely, compared to any of the other flashlights in this size, this thing has the most aggressive texture. You really get a good grip on it. So whether you have gloves on or not, you're going to have good control of this flashlight. Yeah, I mean, it's a small little flashlight. I like the holster system for this because it's so easy to draw it out, and the holster system, I like that hard plastic holster system on my belt. Just seems to be the most comfortable. So, yeah, I mean, this for me is not an EDC light. I don't know a lot of people who would just, you know, drop this in a pocket and walk around all day. Just a little bit too big and clunky for that. But I can tell you that if you work in a situation where you need, you know, close to 1,000 lumens of light on a regular basis, if you need something that can have some flood, some throw, yeah, this could be a light you want to check out. Again, my experience with these guys overall has been good, and this light I've enjoyed. I'm always trying to be practical with how I want to use flashlights. So last night, it was July 4th last night, today's July 5th. I went out with my family. This is the kind of light, I had another light with me already because I was still in the process of testing this one out, but this is the kind of light I would put on my hip as we are walking to the fireworks and back from the fireworks. A little EDC light, like I had one of the tiny little Olights in my pocket, that's fine, but this thing definitely does give you more punch to be able to see what's going on. If I'm approaching the car, I want to make sure no one's around. If I'm walking through a field and I don't want anybody to fall into a hole or something like that, this is the kind of light I want to be able to take out of my pocket and to be able to look around, and yeah, it's going to give you more light obviously than a tiny little EDC light. Got this crow here, you hear this thing? Man, he's all agitated about something. But anyhow, let's take this out into the night and use it individually, and then we're going to do some comparison to the Olight and the Thrunite without the crow at night, and yeah, we'll tell you what we think about the light. We're 25 feet away from the minivan, and we'll go through the 4 different lumen outputs. So here's 6 lumens shining at the minivan. Here's 200, 500, and now 960. Here's the strobe feature. Okay, we're at 50 feet now, and we're going to go through the 4 settings. So here's 6 lumens. See a little bit of reflection there. Here's 200, 500, and here comes 960. You can definitely see a hotter center there, but not like a burning hot center, and then, you know, very diffuse out from the center from your spill. It's hotter center, but some pretty even spill out from there. Back at 75 feet now from the minivan, let's go through the 4 settings. Here's 6 lumens. Can't really see a whole lot there. Let's go up to 200. Here comes 500. And now 960. Alright guys, let's talk through some of the details on these 3 lights. I think these are kind of in the same family, maybe approach as far as the style of light. So over on the left we have the Hero from Powertac. The next to that we have the Thrunite TC20, and the next to that we have the Olight Pro R50 Seeker LE. So I'm going to skip talking about the lower settings and just talk about the higher settings. Really for the Hero, I want to talk about the fact that it runs at your highest setting at 960 lumens for 3.6 hours, and your cost for that light is $140. In the middle, we have the Thrunite. You're going to get 1800 lumens for 2.4 hours, and then you're going to get 3800 lumens for 2.2 hours. That's going to run you $90. And then we have the Olight. You're going to get 1500 lumens for about, it's like 5 minutes or something in that short category. And then down to 1000 lumen, that's going to be for 2.4 hours. And then it's going to give you 3200 lumens for about 1.5 minutes, and then drop down to 1000 lumens for 2 hours and 30 minutes. So as far as your longest run times, the Hero is going to be at the top there with 960 lumens for 3.6 hours. Looks like the Olight will come in second at 1,000 lumens at 2 hours and 40 minutes. And then the Thrunite at 2.4 hours for 1,800, and then 2.2 hours for 3,800. So you're going to get a lot of runtime out of the Hero. You're going to get pretty close to the same amount of runtime out of the Thrunite, but with 1,800 and 3,800 for the outputs. I don't know if I mentioned before, so your costs again across the board, 140 for the Hero from Powertac, and then 140 for the Olight, and then 90 for the TC20 from Thrunite. So there's some of the details. Now let's do some head-to-head competition. Okay, first up we are going to compare the Olight and the Powertac, and we've got the Olight on the 1,500 lumens shining at my fence, which is about 40 feet away. Here's the Olight. Again at 1,500 lumens. Now we'll try the Powertac at 960. And now here side by side. Actually, let's do it again and then we'll do side by side. 1,500 lumens for that. Now the Powertac at 960. Now side by side. I think it's pretty clear to see even on camera when I'm shining the Olight right here at the gate. I can see more to the left and to the right of the gate as opposed to the Powertac at 960. It's definitely getting a hot center, but just less from side to side. I mean, I can still see quite well all the way from the house over there all the way to the edge of the gate, just not as well because this is 960 and this is 1,500. Okay, now we're going to be comparing the TC20 from Thrunite at 1,800 lumens to the Powertac at 960. So here is the Thrunite TC20 1,800 lumens. Here's the Powertac. And now side by side. So here they are side by side. I mean, you're definitely getting more output over here with the Thrunite. The question is, at double the output, do you need that? Do you need to have, this is 960, so let's say 900, this is 1,800, so twice the output over here. Do you need 1,800 lumens, or is 960 enough? Do you want 1,200, something in between? So yeah, just again, we got the 1,800 from Thrunite, 960 from Powertac. Okay, here's your Thrunite at 18. Let's bump it up to 38. So there's your 38, and here's your 960 from the Powertac Hero, Generation 3, by the way, Generation 3. So 960, 38, 960, 38, and side by side. I mean, that 38 just pretty much gobbles up. That 38 just pretty much overtakes the 960, doesn't it? Alright guys, I'm out here in my backyard lounging and just hanging out on a beautiful New Hampshire day, wrapping up the video here on the Powertac Hero Generation 3. And I often say about my life in general that if I don't have my integrity, what do I have, right? Like, it all comes down to character at the end of the day. Like, it doesn't matter what you accomplish. If you're a total schmo in the process of doing it, then that's not really worth a whole lot. So that being said, the reason I bring that up is because I think it's pretty obvious when you look at the review and how I compared the three lights. The Thrunite is giving you, got Wild Kingdom here. The Thrunite is giving you the most output. It's giving you the longest burn time at a high output compared to like the Olight, and to get 1,800 or up almost 4,000 lumens compared to 960 for the Hero. To me, it's kind of like, well, I could say the Hero is the best one, but I don't know that that's necessarily the case, honestly. Here's what I can tell you is that if you want a light that you can charge a phone or other things off of with the USB, then the Hero is the direction you got to go, because you can't get that out of the Thrunite. The Olight, to me, it's a good light overall, but compared to those other two, I would pick the Hero. I would pick the Thrunite first, the Hero second, and the Olight third, just because of, you know, what I feel like they have to what they have to offer compared to one another. Now, the other thing I'll mention is that the issues that you'll have as far as use and abuse is I feel like overall the durability of the Powertac is the best, comparing the Olight, the Thrunite, and the Powertac. It feels the most rugged, the most sturdy. I have had Olights fail on me. I don't think I've ever had a Powertac fail on me. So it depends on how you're going to be using it, how you're going to be, you know, how you're going to be utilizing the light, and how often may be something you want to think about to determine how that relates to, you know, what light you might choose. Powertac sent me this light for review. Like I said, I do like them as a company, but I don't want to show you what I just saw on camera and then go, Powertac wins. I feel like Thrunite wins if the light holds up and does its job. But so I guess the bottom line is you got to make an assessment for yourself. You know, do you need the high lumen output? Do you need the rechargeability factor? Do you need basically two high lumen outputs? You know, to have 1800 and then almost 4000 lumens from the Thrunite, or is 960 lumens of output what is sufficient for you based on what you need a flashlight to do? So yeah, I mean, that's that. I could go on and try to give you different reasons about different things, but at the end of the day, you saw it on camera, you make your decision. And as always, so yeah, thanks as always for watching the videos here on YouTube. Please subscribe to Everyday Tactical Vids if you haven't done so already. Like us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter, check us out on Instagram, Tumblr, and Vero as well. More videos coming soon. Take care.